Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. And in case you don't know me, I'm Aakash, a chartered accountancy student. And since my exams are near, I don't have much time to record a proper video. So this one's going to be a vlog, as you must be aware of from the title and thumbnail. And in this, you'll see clips of me studying in time lapse, and alongside, I'll explain things as we go further. So let's start. So I started my day at 8:30 a.m. and because I had intended to wake up at 7:30, I grew panicky and got straight to my desk, scheduled my day in 3 minutes and started solving questions of final accounts from the revision test paper and past year papers which I couldn't get right in the first try. Thanks to my memory that I forget many things really easily. Final accounts includes making a profit and loss account which shows the nominal transaction balances of the business during the year with a balance sheet which discloses all its assets and liabilities, which acts as a data for income tax, stakeholders and many others. From 10 a.m., I revised Unit 3 of Company Accounts, which is about the accounting process of bonus issue and right issue by a company to its shareholders. The stuff in it is easy but requires continuous revision as it contains more stuff to remember rather than to understand. The unit was short, so I got done with it at 11:30, so I went for a quick shower and I sort of making a quick transition kind of stuff but felt super weird, so maybe next time. Then I made coffee for me and my elder sister because I borrowed her iPhone to record this coffee making part, which I quickly airdropped to my Mac and sat again at 12:15 to do a quick revision of Business Law Chapter 7, which is about the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. I usually try to remember the exact wordings of law because anything we make up from ourselves may have deviations which the examiner won't like. I finished revising the complete chapter by 2 p.m, after which I made my second cup of coffee for the day while listening to Ed Sheeran and singing alongside, and I had a cute intruder during that time.
Hello, Gardo. Hello. Hello, Gardo. Hello. Hello.
Then I jumped straight to revising Indian Contract Act 1872 from a one-shot lecture where I side by side had my notes opened in Notion because there are some points which I'd skipped earlier, and sometimes the teacher makes some flowcharts which I subsequently add to my notes as to make revision easier. I genuinely believe that making notes is a waste of time because there's already so much stuff available on the internet, but for law, I learned the written stuff first and write it in somewhat similar language so that it gets seated deep inside my brain. From around 4 p.m, I started my revision for macroeconomics, which is one of my least liked subjects as it is purely theoretical, i.e. everything to mug up and nothing to understand. At this time, I was learning about national economy and Keynesian theory, which is the only interesting chapter in it, and you might be wondering, when did I eat? Actually, I don't like recording myself eating, but I had my breakfast at around 10 within 5 minutes, and I usually skip lunch, so yeah, you must not be wondering anymore. After I was done with a full 2-hour session, I did some practice questions of quantitative aptitude in which I revised 1.5 chapters of logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is the easiest part in QA where anyone can score 16 to 17 marks out of 20 with reasonable diligence. From around 8 to 10 p.m, I did another session of macroeconomics where I started revising the next chapter called Fiscal Functions, which is about why must government intervene in the market and what policies it makes in order to avoid situations like inflation and deflation. As I said above, it's just theory, not that much interesting. At 10 p.m, I took a half-hour break, which I obviously didn't record, where I had dinner and spent some time with my family, after which I did a 1.5-hour session of law where I solved the questions given in my study material about Negotiable Instruments Act. I try my best to read the question and solve it on my own, but when I get stuck, I take a look at the answer, which always astonishes me, and after I write the whole of the answer, I put it in ChatGPT and ask it to rate my answer on the basis of presentation because it's one of the key areas where everyone loses their marks in the exam. The questions were less, but the answers were huge, so it took me loads of time to write. At 12 a.m, I started my final 1-hour session of law, which was about breach of contract, like what happens when someone doesn't do what they promised or contracted to do, and all the actions which can be lawfully taken against them in different situations. But since I was tired, I couldn't complete the session and gave up at 12:40 when I recorded a small outro for this video. Alright, that's it for today. It's currently 12:43 and I had a plan to study till 1, but I don't think I can continue anymore. It's pretty reasonable. I studied for around 14 to 14 and a half hours today, which is like quite a lot more than my usual. My usual stays between 8 to 12, but since it's exam week I have to grind. So yeah, it's going pretty great and I'm heading to sleep now. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Do hit subscribe if you aren't already, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.